Hi, this is Gary Kayye. We are still at day one of InfoComm 2015 here in Orlando, Florida, and you're about to meet an entirely new company with a new concept and a new way of collaborating, but a familiar face. Nancy Knowlton, the president and CEO of Nureva. Did I pronounce that right?
You did indeed.
Not bad. I had to practice that a little bit. So let's go ahead and get the obvious out of the way. Founder of Smart Technologies, and you've sort of took a hiatus after selling Smart Technologies.
We did indeed. We sat around for a few months trying to think what we might do next, and golf wasn't enough to fill our schedule, so we went off and took a look around and tried to imagine what could be next.
Great imagination, obviously. So for those of you who don't know, there's a company called Nureva, and you guys sort of started in the education space, ironically similarly to what happened with Smart Technologies. Talk a little bit about that first before we launch into what you launched here at InfoComm.
Well, based on some of the experiences that we had at Smart, we knew that the whole area of assessment was hot. And, we built a lot of products at Smart that were very well accepted in the market. And we wanted to take a little bit different look at that whole assessment model, and so more holistically. And so we looked at project-based learning, so not the sort of formative and summative assessments that are typically handled with student response devices. And so we've created Truve, a digital portfolio software, something that is owned by the student that will allow them to keep representations of their work as they progress through school.
And it's really neat, and you should check it out online, especially those of you who are selling to education, to understand sort of how you did this digital portfolio concept and how it works. And you can check that out at nureva.com, which is spelled Nureva.com, right?
That's right.
Okay. But here at InfoComm, what you're focusing on is something called SPAN, and it's sort of like that, but it takes it to a whole different level. I mean, this is really neat. So this is a hardware and software collaboration piece, and when I look at that, I hear the term collaboration thrown around by dozens of manufacturers. I would say that 20% of them are actually touching and collaborating, and I would say that you're in that 20% absolutely. This is an impressive piece.
We think we are in that collaboration space. What we have done is focus on the fuzzy front end of work, and that means when ideas are first being formed. And so you can imagine a creative group, whether they're creating a product, a marketing campaign, a website, or it could be an agile software development team. You want to get a lot of ideas out. This is
a brainstorm.
Well, no, this isn't like brainstorming. Brainstorming is a very short duration activity. Teams that get together to create something new, they're going to stay on it. They're going to create their ideas in a context. They're going to have constraints known and what the opportunities are. And so brainstorming, people will say, hey, there's no such thing as a bad idea. Well, actually there is, because without constraints or context, you're just throwing stuff up against the wall. So what we took a look at was what until today really has been largely an analog process with sheets of paper, so sticky notes and printouts and photographs and flip charts. And what we've tried to do is move that into the digital realm. And so what you see with our application, it looks like what you're used to in the paper-based realm.
Yeah, and so we're going to do a demo so that you can understand what we're talking about here. But it is like taking a whole bunch of sticky notes, drawings, documents, and sort of pasting them on a wall and allowing them to be collaborated by everyone locally who's in the room through any device you want to connect it to, through apps, for example, through web browser, and then multiple sites simultaneously, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So with paper-based, you haven't been able to really have people at remote locations. And so now, with technology as the core here, you can include other people, because this is a cloud-based application. Simply by signing in to the canvas on the cloud, you can collaborate. And of course, you've got to find a way to share voice, but you're collaborating with the data.
So it starts with the most obvious piece that you see is a wall-mounted projector, which is actually custom made. I mean, this is not an off-the-shelf projector. I believe it's 16 by 6 aspect ratio,
That's right.
which gives you a wide aspect ratio. For those of you who really are into that thing, it's DLP based, but that's not the point.
Yeah.
And there's a little box that mounts on the wall below the projector that has all the magic in it.
That's right. That's what gives you the whole touch interaction.
Right, and it's 10 touch points. So you're projecting on a wall, and for that matter, you could use a wall that's painted white, and I think in this case you have I don't know what it is that you have a surface on your, but as long as it's white, you can project on it. And then you place items, which will become apparent go ahead.
So individuals work away as if they were working on sticky notes, but here you may be working on your computer or on your tablet and soon to be phone. And you create items, and just like you would sort of keep track or pile up a bunch of sticky notes, you do your own work privately, and then you go through an easy process and place those sticky notes or pages up onto the canvas, and you just literally drag it from a tray onto the canvas, which is on your personal device, and then it appears on the shared screen.
Right, and what's neat about that is multiple people can be doing it simultaneously from wherever they are, and you can do it synchronously or asynchronously. So if you're meeting with people, or you're talking to people, or collaborating with people who are at 10, 12, 14 hours difference, they can pick up where you left off and vice versa. So it is true collaboration. So I'm impressed. It's called Span, the Nureva Span. It's going to deliver starting August 24th. That's the exact date, August 24th of this year. So what I want you to do now is I want you to watch the demo that we're about to record, because I want you to understand how it works, because there's no way we can do it justice. But I do have a couple other questions specifically for you. Okay. Obviously, you must have some of the talent, not only intellectual property, but talent from the Smart Technologies days. There's a little bit of crossover in what Smart did, but not much. This is sort of creating a new category.
We really think it is a new category. You know, Smart's done a terrific job through the years and really does own a lot of the whiteboarding space in education and in business, and we wanted to kind of stay away from that. And you're right, you know, there's some element here. I mean, we're writing on a flip chart, but that's not the nature of this product. It's a very small element, so we're really looking for white space where we could create something differentiated.
And really what you're doing with this is you're sort of taking an analog workflow and turning it into a digital workflow. So you're trying to keep the same workflow, but just allow it to be available digitally as opposed to analog. So people don't have to change the way they work, they just have to change the tools they interface with.
Yeah, and you know, there may be some changing of the way, because technology is going to afford other ways of interacting, so there may be something that will evolve. So we're listening to customers here and listening to dealers as they talk about what their customers are doing, but largely it is replicating that analog process.
So Nureva.com, and say I'm an integrator and I'm interested in this, how do I become a dealer? What do I do?
They give us a call, they stop by the booth. There are a few of us here that are really carrying the load, interacting with prospective resellers. So we're open, we're welcoming, love to hear from people.
Well, it's Nureva.com. Get it on the ground floor. This is a beginning, this is the first step. I mean, you haven't started shipping the product yet. Start at the beginning. You can't go wrong. Look at the history. So how can this go wrong? This is going to be an awesome opportunity. I'm impressed. I truly am, and I want you to watch the demo. Thanks for watching this interview. Nancy, thanks for joining me for this. And now I'm ready to do a demo, so keep watching.